Section 1. Chapter 11, Section 1, arithmetic sequences. So a sequence is a vocabulary term that you should be familiar with, a sequence. A sequence is a list of numbers in a particular order. So for instance, here's a sequence that's a really common sequence. These are even numbers, and it keeps going. Well, we'll say that we'll just go to 14. So there's a sequence. It has a beginning and an end. Each term, each number in the sequence is called a term. So make sure you know that vocabulary word, term. A sub 1 is the notation we use for the first term. The way you say this is A sub 1. We use sub for subscript. Subscript means the number's lower. Superscript looks like an exponent. A sub 2 is the second term. I don't know what that's doing there. And A sub n is the nth term or the last term. So with this sequence, you would have A sub 1 is the first term, A sub 2 is 4, and all the way down to A sub 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The seventh term, or you could also state it as A sub n, is 14. So this is just getting used to notation. Find the next four terms of each arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence is made by adding or subtracting to get to the next number. So a lot of these, you don't really have to do a lot of work or a lot of thinking. If you just look at the numbers, 31 to 24, 24 to 17, each one you're subtracting 7 to get to the next term. So the next four terms would be 10, 3, negative 4, and negative 11. And that's all. Not a lot of work to show. So it's just looking for the pattern. For the next one, you're going from negative 8 to negative 5, so you're actually getting bigger. So you're adding 3. And negative 5 to negative 2, you're adding 3. You're always going to be having the same number, adding 3, adding 3. You're just not going to change that here you add 3 and then you add 2. That wouldn't be an arithmetic sequence. So you'd have 1, 4, 7, and 10 are the next four terms. You can have fractions too. They're not too much more difficult. 18 to 16 is a difference of 2 fifths with the 5. So 2 fifths is what you're subtracting. You would have 12 fifths, 10 fifths, 8 fifths, and 6 fifths. But 10 fifths we should write as 2. So that's the next four terms. Simplify when you can. You can also have decimals. 1.3 to 1.8 is you're adding 2.5. So adding 2.5, you would have 8.8, and then 11.3, and then 13.8, and 16.3. So those are your next four terms in the sequence. So that's arithmetic sequence. Circle those, I guess. Here's a definition of an arithmetic sequence. It sounds like this: arithmetic sequence. It can also be pronounced arithmetic, but I like to say arithmetic or arithmetic. But I say arithmetic. Arithmetic sequence is a sequence in which you add or subtract some constant difference d. So d, it's important to notice, d is the variable that we'll be using for the common difference, how to get from one term to the next term. So with even numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, the common difference is 2. 2 to 4 is 2, 4 to 6 is 2, 6 to 8 is 2. So find the first five terms of the arithmetic sequence. So the first one is 41. The difference is 5. That means you're going to be adding 5 every time to get to the next number. So you have 46, 51, 56, 61. And the next one you start at 12. And you're adding negative 3. So you'd have 12, 9, 6, 3, and 0. So adding a negative 3 every time. And that's all done. And with fractions, you start with 5/8. And you're going to be adding 3/8. So adding 3/8 would be 8/8. 8/8 is 1. And then 8/8 plus 3/8 is 11/8. And 11/8 plus 3/8 is 14/8, which can be simplified to be 7/4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 14/8 plus 3/8 is 17/8. So here's your answer right here. All these numbers, not the 14 though. So there are the next 5 terms. The next question is a little different than the other ones. It's basically just a formula with notation. So on this one you have a sub n equals 1 minus 5n. And you're asked to find the a sub 10, the 10th term in the sequence. So all you have to do is plug in 10 into the function, or into the formula. So you have 1 minus 5 times 10. So it's 1 minus 50. So the 10th term is negative 49. So you've had questions like that before, plugging in a number and evaluating. The next part, I want to develop and show you where the formula comes from for arithmetic sequences. So if a sub 1 is a sub 1, that's reflexive property. A sub 2 is the same as a sub 1 plus some d. To get the next term, you add d. A sub 3, you could write as a sub 1 plus d plus another d, and that would be the third term. A sub 4 would be a sub 1 plus d plus another d, which is 3d. A sub 5 is a sub 1 plus 4d. And you can keep going with this pattern. So a sub 6 is a sub 1 plus 5d. Notice the relationship between the position that you're on and the number right here with the d. So a sub 6, you're adding 5d, one less than that. So a sub 7 is a sub 1 plus 6d, a sub 1 plus 7d, a sub 1 plus 8d, and then a sub n is the general formula. It would be a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. And that's the formula for arithmetic sequence. So you can use this to find varying things, the first term, or the d, or the n, or the a sub n. Normally it's the a sub n that you're solving for. So on the next page, that's the formula right here that we just wrote. The nth term of an arithmetic sequence. The nth term, a sub n, this one right here, of an arithmetic sequence is the first term, a sub 1, common difference d, and here's the formula. And you should memorize this formula. It's the first of 7 formulas in this chapter. It's the chapter probably with the most formulas. N is any positive integer. We always have a sub 1, a sub 2. We don't have a sub negative 5 or a sub half. It's always a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3. So they're natural numbers or positive integers. Find the indicated term. So we're told in the first example, a sub 1 is negative 4, d is negative 9, and n is 20. So with the formula, a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. We're told a sub 1 is negative 4. We're told that n is 20. And we're told d is negative 9. And we're looking for the indicated term. It doesn't come out and tell you, find the 20th term. But if you know n is 20, then n right here is a sub 20. So you're looking for the last term, the 20th term. And simplifying this, you'd have negative 4 plus 19 times negative 9. And you can use your calculator if you need to and multiply that. So you have negative 4 plus 19 times negative 9. So you get negative 175. Negative 175. And that's the 20th term. What this means is if you started at negative 4, the first term, and you subtracted 9, because notice your D is negative, so subtract 9. And you did this and found the 20th one. So this is the first one, the second one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Eventually, after much time and waiting, the 20th term is 1920. The 20th term is negative 175. If you count right, it'll be negative 175. On the next one, you're not told what D is. You have to figure out what D is. And you're not told what 20 is, or what n equals, but you should be able to figure it out. Notice you're looking for a sub 12. So this 12 tells you what is n. So n is 12. And your first term is really easy to figure out. That's whatever's first. A sub 1 is 8. And D, you basically have 8 to 3 is subtracting 5. And then you can plug the numbers in to the formula. So you would have a sub 12 equals 8 plus n is 12 minus 1 times d. And when you multiply that out and simplify, you get negative 47. So the 12th term in the sequence is negative 47. So since the last time didn't work very well, I'll try again. Starting with 8, you're subtracting 5. Let's see if I can get it right this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There. The 12th term is negative 47. And using the formula is a little, I guess, a little faster, especially if you have a very large n value. Write an equation for the nth term of each arithmetic sequence. Notice that you want an nth term, so it has to be in terms of n. And you want your answer to be an equation in terms of n. So using the formula, you'd have a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub n would equal the first term, which is 7, plus the number of terms. You leave it in terms of n. And then d, from 7 to 16, 16 to 25, that's positive 9. And all you have to do then is simplify. And you would get this equation, a sub n equals 9n minus 2. And pause this video and see if you could do the next. So there's the answer. On the next one, the table below shows cost for a construction company to rent a crane. That's a crane. For 1, 2, 3, or 4 months, assuming the arithmetic sequence continues, how much would it cost to rent the crane for 12 months? So the first month's $75,000. And basically we want to know, after 12 months, what's the cost of the crane? So we can use the same setup, same formula, where a sub n would be a sub 12. You want to know what the 12th month would cost. A sub 1 is the cost the first month, which is $75,000. N is the number of months, so n would be 12 minus 1. And d is how do these numbers differ from one another? Well, if you look at them, they're changing by 15,000 each time. So you multiply by 15,000. So, simplifying that, you would get $240,000 is the cost for 12 months. Arithmetic means are missing terms. So there are 3 arithmetic means for the first one that are missing. Now you could do guess and check and figure out what are the missing terms. You could also use the formula that we've been using, a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. And then you don't really have to guess, you just have to figure out what numbers go where. The a sub n is the last term, so that's this one. A sub n is 115. A sub 1 is the first term, which is 55. N is the number of terms, and you can tell you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. You have a first, a last, and 3 missing terms. So 5 minus 1. And d is what you're solving for. So subtracting 55, you get 60 equals 4d. So d is 15. But that's not the answer. Then you have to go back and figure out what the missing terms are. Adding 15, you'd have 70, 85, and 100. So those are your missing terms. And you can pause this video to determine, see if you could do the next one. And here's the work for the last one. D is 3, which you could probably get with just guessing numbers. And the arithmetic means are -5, -2, 1, and 4. Thank you for watching this video.